What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about ways the Lions can screw up the draft. We've been talking about
Oh,
who they're going to pick, how they could pick them. We're going to tell you a scenario in which we just screw up because I think that could happen, and I
it
think
could.
we're scarred as Lions fans of like, why'd we take Jordan Dizon in the
Oh
second round?
no,
So,
Jordan dies on.
Craig, are you have like real concerns, or is it like, nah, we'd really have to we'd really have to try hard to mess the draft up? Or
Yeah,
what do you
I have legitimate concerns, but at the same time, it is, I know we're gonna hit on some picks, we're gonna miss on some picks. But I think there are things we can do that it's like that was a bad decision. I think every year we walk away from the NFL draft and we think to ourselves, the New York Giants royally screwed up
Mhm.
the NFL draft. And then the product on the field proves that they royally screwed up the NFL draft. So it can happen. I trust these guys as talent evaluators.
Mhm.
I'm just going to say that. So I don't, you're not going to hear me saying something like, oh, we just misevaluate talent. Like that's a cop out answer. That's dumb. That's easy.
Right.
Right. So one way that I think we can royally screw up this draft is that we are doing the draft solely with the mindset of we must win now. We're approaching this draft in a way that it's like, hey, we want to win this year. We want to make the playoffs this year. So we need to draft starters in positions of need. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think we need to take best talent available. And a way to screw up the draft now would be to go position of need and reach on players just because you're hoping to get a plug and play starter.
Yeah, I agree. I've gone back and forth on this because I really want us to fill some holes that we just have not addressed in a couple of
Yeah.
years now. I think that's the biggest thing. It's been a couple of years since we've had a linebacker, since we've had
Yep.
a DN that really, I guess we've had a couple that, got injured, but and Charles Harris is doing well. But
Yeah, but we
yes,
found him in an unconventional route.
yes,
Yeah.
that's not so. I agree with that one, and that one's is mine. Is that we are just going to, for example, take go too hard on best available, and that would be like, ooh, boy, you know, Devin Lloyd, or some of these
Oh,
names that
yeah.
like, boy, we need a linebacker, and there's two premier linebackers right there. Now I love who we picked. Let's say we take, like Jordan Davis, that big D tackle from
Sure.
Georgia, right? It's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's a good, but that's where I don't like that. Then another one for me would be just taking a quarterback at number 2. I have more and more kind of
Ooh.
fallen off of this just because
Falling off the bandwagon. The hype train has left the
yeah,
station for
it
Malik
came
Willis,
through.
huh?
It came through and I'm like, man, Willis, let's just let's rip the band-aid off and let's start getting our quarterback. But I just feel like we've got this offseason has proved, and the last 2 off seasons have proved, if you need to go get a quarterback, you can go do it. It's not going to be easy, but there's
Mhm.
ways to go and get a quarterback. And I think we can trade Goff. We can do
Yeah.
some different things to get some draft capital. We can figure out the quarterback position, but we have so many holes and
Yeah.
we're just talent. We've been ripped apart. The roster's been ripped apart when Caldwell, and then Patricia ripped it apart. Now we're ripping apart it again. So it's like, let's just steady our baseline people instead
Yeah.
of reaching for a quarterback.
Yeah, and I understand that. So you think a reach for a quarterback could, and that has set franchises back. And I don't want to pick on the New York area, but how often has picking the wrong quarterback set back the Jets and the Giants?
Oh
Like
man.
it's just it's frustrating for them, and I don't want to see us do the same thing. So I'm in full agreement with you there. If you reach on a quarterback now, if you truly think a quarterback of the future is there at number 2, yeah, you can take it, but man, you're gambling.
Oh
You're
man.
gambling because if he doesn't work out, you've ruined it. So I think I have settled in more and more on Thibodeau and Walker and things like that
Yep.
at number 2, and because I think Hutch will be gone. But anyways, with that being said, I got another one for you. I want you
Yeah.
to tell me if you agree with this. So this will be kind of the third thing that we've talked about. I think they could royally screw up the draft if they trade away too much future draft capital in this draft. We saw the one thing in like the war room that Brad Holmes kept wanting to do was trade up, trade up, trade up. And luckily he was humble enough to listen to the other guys. Like, no, stay there. They'll still be there. And even if they're not, that's okay. and he's stuck with his picks. I'm worried that we trade future capital that hamstrings us. And if Goff doesn't work out, we need that future capital to trade up to get a quarterback next year. And I'm worried that we won't have the capital to do it, or whatever it looks like. This is a multi-year rebuild process. Don't get rid of your future picks. So I'm nervous about that we start throwing away second, third, first rounders next year.
Yeah, and you nailed it really with your first point. Now this point, and I'm with you. This is a multi-year rebuild. We have to stay patient because this is why football franchises have such a hard time rebuilding, because it's so impatient and everybody wants to go now. And we're right there where it's like, all right, first year, yeah, we took our lumps, let's go. It's like, no, we still have another draft cycle really to sustain this, because yeah, you start jumping ahead and now, you're just playing catch up and you're playing that whole game. Let's baseline this. Let's get just like, I'm with you. I would be good with just best available. We add 5, we have 5 picks in the first 100. You add 5 just great players to build onto your team versus
solid players.
Yeah, and just stay patient. If trade back whenever we can, but it will royally screw this up if we're just, like you said, too aggressive, trying to get like, hey, we're one player away, we're moving up to grab somebody. This draft is so deep. If we move up to do anything, I will die, because there's no reason to do that. So
I will die.
No,
I think
go ahead.
I look at it and it's like, we've been so patient in this rebuild. Like, think about our free agent signings last year. Think about the draft last year. Think about the free agent signings this year. We have not hit the gas pedal.
No.
Don't do it now. I mean, because 5 picks in the top 100 is great, but if you add too many more picks in the top 100, you're looking at salary cap problems in 4 or 5 years too. Like, so there's so many reasons to say, just stay with the picks you have. If anything, trade down in circumstances to build more, to get more players and get more capital for next year and in the draft this year. That's the route I'd go.
Yep. And for me, the last way that we can just screw this up is if we are just if we take guys in that 32, 34 range that aren't home run guys. So I've said it before, like the number 2 is good. Number 2 pick, obviously we'll get somebody there. Picks in the in the 3rd and 4th round. You do your best.
50-50 shot, right?
Yeah, you do your best. The 32 pick and the 34 pick, we've been saying it as just the picks we got to have. So if we just miss on those obvious, wow, why didn't we take Lewis Sign? Why didn't we take Daxton Hill? Why don't we take that safety? Why don't we take, that linebacker? Because it happens every year.
Chad Muma. Every time we do a video, people yell at us for not saying Chad Muma. So Chad Muma.
Yeah,
there you go.
And you nailed it before. Like, we need a tight end, but that is but if you take him right there or something, a tight end early, or so just something where it's like, dude, what the heck are we doing? Like, let's just, those first 3 picks that we have, home run, like just put them down. It's so deep in the first like 45 picks. You can't mess it up. But so don't mess that 32 and 34 pick up. Just do the obvious right thing. And I know I'm speaking very general here, but
yeah,
people know what I'm talking about. Like, pick that player, that linebacker, that safety, that DN. Maybe we haven't addressed DN, whatever it is, that just don't screw around that pick 32 and 34.
Yeah. And I think you've seen a lot of high quality safeties come off the board there. So I know this is a different video. We're going to be comparing safeties and stuff like that, but don't go nuts with that pick. And I think the only other question I have for you, so you say don't screw up that 32 or 34 pick. 32 is a spot where a lot of people are projecting a quarterback to the Lions. If we use our 32 pick and we just get a backup quarterback that could be a fringe starter, is that a waste of a pick to you?
Yes. Thank you that was my whole, thank you. That's why we're good partners. That was my whole point to starting saying that, was quarterback there. That, I think everyone, it's an easy cop out. That's enough. I don't know why we're saying cop out so much. It's an easy cop out for like national media. Oh yeah, Lions need a quarterback.
They just have Goff. They should get a quarterback.
Yeah, and they got 2 first rounds. Sam Howell, and you're like, dude, no, what? No, we re-signed. Yeah, I just no. Don't like it.
So you don't like it. So if we come back and we draft a quarterback, are you going to be like, no, this is a stupid pick? Or are you going to be like, oh, he could be a starter? You never know. I mean, like, it's hard for me because we did, what was it, 2 weeks ago? We did the why the Lions will draft Malik Willis at number 2. And now we're talking about how we've cooled way off on that. I'm not saying we said that it needed to happen. And I'm sure the management for the Lions is doing the same thing. They're going up and down on players, up and down. All we need to do is get to the point where you have your draft board set by draft night. You're ready to go. Stick to the board. And I guess that'll be my final thing. And then we can end this video, is that they get too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you get emotional and you don't stick to your board. That's what you got to do. It seems like there's enough smart guys in that room where it's going to be okay.
Yep.
So I am excited about. I've never been this excited for a draft for the Lions.
No, and I don't know, and I don't know if it's. I mean, I'm sure it's because of us doing this channel now,
Sure.
and you know we're into it, but it does just seem so intriguing. So, and I think we just love our front office. Yeah, we love our front office, and I saw the Lions media just put out a new video, and to see like Chris Spielman in there, just there's just little things that you're like, I feel good about that. I feel versus
football guys.
Yeah, football guys. Let's talk football. Let's figure it out. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and we will see you on the next one.
See you.